Hello YouTube makeup lovers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to Be Lounge Makeup, I really hope that you stick around and subscribe for more videos. I am here today with a packing video. I haven't done a nice travel packing video in a long time, and these are some of my favorite videos, and it's also my favorite video because it means I am most likely going on a good trip. So I am taking a trip with my sister now. We're probably leaving in about a week and a half, and I've already packed my makeup, and I thought I would share with you guys how I pack my makeup and what I am taking. For starters, the bag I am using as my makeup bag is this one here from Amazon from the brand BAGSMART. This one actually also goes with my toiletry bag. It's like the similar print and the pink color. And this is one of those that have become very popular now, that when you open it up, when you open the zipper, the bag kind of opens up and lays flat, so you can pretty much see everything that is inside the bag, and you can actually fit quite a lot. So I just said, whatever fits in here is what I am going to take. So this is where the makeup is gonna go. And then for the brushes, I am using the Allie Glines. This is the brush case in the pink color. So I'm also gonna share with you guys the brushes, and I also added some makeup products in here. So we better get started. Let me share with you guys all the makeup that I'll be taking on my upcoming trip. I will be traveling by airplane. It's not like I'm gonna go to the port like I do sometimes when we just go on a cruise. I do have to go through the whole airport hassle. So that is why I kind of wanted to make my little makeup bag a little bit smaller. And you're probably thinking, a little bit smaller, that's huge. I know, like, for a normal person, this is definitely considered a lot of makeup. I bet my sister's probably gonna take like a little tiny makeup bag. But for me, I've taken bigger. So this was my version of trying to tone down all the makeup I am taking. I am gonna be gone for a little bit over 2 weeks, and I will be doing my makeup. So I did try to pack in a way where I knew it was things that I would use, kind of strategic, trying not to duplicate, trying to use products that are multifunctional, that I can use for more than one thing, like little palettes, like those Patrick Ta palettes where you have the cream and the powder. There you have like 2-in-1 type of product. So I did try to do that, but I'll stop rambling and let's just get started. So basically the way I like to pack, let me just make sure that I take everything out, because I want to make sure that I kind of share with you guys the products that I'm taking in the order that I like to pack, except for the brushes. That I'll do last. But pretty much I like to pack thinking of the way I apply my makeup, right? So my skincare is not in here. That isn't actually in a separate little case that I'm gonna be taking. This is just all makeup focused. So basically, the first thing I actually think about is my foundation and what I'm gonna be taking. I rarely wear a primer when I'm home, so I'm skipping the primer here. Sometimes I'll take like a little sample when I travel, and then I end up never using that sample. The go-to foundation that I'm taking on the trip, also not a glass bottle, which has to do a lot with why I packed it, but also I love this one. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. This is the one I am taking. I am in the shade 1.5 Neutral. And then I'm taking the Erborian CC Cream. This is in the shade Clair. This one has SPF 25. I don't count that as my SPF. I always wear regular SPF under, but that would be inside my skincare bag. And I am taking a lot of SPF, but I like to take a CC cream just in case for the daytime or the days that I'm just not gonna do my makeup. I can just put a nice little CC cream on and just call it a day, basically. Just something easy and simple that I can pretty much just put on and leave and kind of look a little bit more presentable. I have my concealer. The concealer I'm taking is the Dior. This is a Forever Skin Correct. I use the shade 1CR, and this is a great one because it works great under concealer, but if I want to add more coverage, just because this one is more like a light medium type of coverage, it does build up nicely, but if I want to add more coverage, you could do that also with a concealer. You don't need to take another foundation that is a different finish or that has a fuller coverage, because you can always add that extra coverage with a concealer. Part of my concealer routine, I also use the Eve Pearl Salmon Concealer. This is in the shade medium. This one I'm gonna throw in here in the side pocket. That's a product that I use all the time. Love it. It is part of my concealer routine. And then the last step in my concealer routine is to set. What I did was I put in the Givenchy, the pink powder. I'll list the name down below, what the full name, I think it's like the Prisme Libre powder in the rose. I don't know the name, so I'll make sure to write it down below. But this is also a very important step in my concealer routine, that I do first put the concealer, I correct, conceal, and then I set it with this powder. Then after I do that, I always tend to go in with a contour type of product to do a little bit of light contouring. So I will be taking the Patrick Ta for the face. This is the She Sculpted Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. Again, this is a very nice combo to take on a trip because this already takes care of my contour step. It also takes care of my bronzer step. So there's like a 2-in-1. I knew that I had taken another foundation. Another product that I did take as well is the Patrick Ta. This is the Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Doer. So I am taking another foundation. I was thinking like, wow, I was really simple. I only took one foundation, but no, I'm actually taking two. This is a cream foundation, and the reason I picked this palette is because it also covers my powder step. So if I feel like I need to set something on my face, I can use this as a setting powder, and then, hey, I have an additional cream foundation if I want to go a little bit more on the full coverage side. So that is why I ended up packing this one as well. So it's just pretty much, instead of taking just like a powder compact, I'm taking this one, which also has both. So it gives me the chance, if I do want to switch from a liquid to a cream, I can always use that one. From one size, this is the Cheek Clapper. This is a 3D blush trio. Love this palette. I knew I wanted to take this the minute I bought it because it has a cream blush, it has a powder blush, and then it has another one that kind of has a nice little shimmer, which I think I can play around with, but really I wanted it for these two products. So I always use a lot of pink. Taking a couple blushes, that is kind of where I'm kind of taking a little bit more. I'm taking this one from Westman Atelier. This is a bright pink, more fuchsia type of cream blush in the shade Pop It. It's a very different pink color than the one that I just shared. I'm taking this little size of the Rare Beauty in the shade Hope. This is tiny, doesn't take up much space, and it's less colorful than I guess the other blushes that I just packed. Since I like to do the layering, what I did was for every cream blush that I took, I'm taking a powder blush that goes with that cream blush. So for example, for the Pop It one that I showed you, the one that I'm going to be taking is my Valentino one, and this is in the shade 10. This one I feel like it's going to go really nicely with this. It's not the perfect color, but when you put it on, it looks more similar to this. It just doesn't look that matchy on camera or even in the palette, but once you use it, it kind of turns into that. Taking a Makeup by Mario powder blush in the shade Desert Rose, which is a more neutral, everyday type color. So one item I forgot to mention when I spoke about my concealer routine is the Fresh Creme and Cien Eye Cream. This is my go-to eye cream that I always use before under my eyes before I do my concealer routine. So this is always in my makeup bag, even though it's like a skincare product, but I do consider it always part of my makeup routine because it's what I apply first under the eyes before I go in with my corrector. Eyeshadow bases, I always like to take a cream or a liquid because it's something that I always like to use on my eyes, especially my lids. Like, it's where I add the pop of color, and I really like to go kind of shimmery on the lid area. So the very first one is my go-to from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Oyster Pearl. This is like a nice taupe color. Then the second one is more of a liquid type of shadow from the brand Ilia. This is the liquid powder in the shade Burnish. This one comes with a doe foot applicator, and this is more of a golden type of color. So I think with those two I can figure it out, and I don't have to wear an eyeshadow base every single day, obviously. But then it's just kind of like my go-to type of eye look is to put a nice little base. Like I'm wearing right now the Oyster Pearl from Charlotte Tilbury. That's just like my favorite one ever. From Ilia, I'm taking the Warm Nude, the Necessary Eyeshadow Palette. This is pretty much my go-to palette. I am taking two palettes on the trip. Probably could have gotten away with one, but this one doesn't have that many colors that I can apply on the lid, but it does have kind of all the neutrals and the matte colors that I do like to apply on the crease and for blending, just like the base colors that I like to use on the eyes. So this is a really great palette. The Warm Nude, I highly recommend that one. And then the other one I'm gonna be taking, which I actually packed inside the brush case, is from the brand Lorac, and this is the Pro Palette Noir. This is a nice palette. It's thin. It's not a palette that can break easily. And this one just has a lot of nice and shimmery colors. That's why I took it. And I think that these go great with the two bases that I just showed you. It also has some darker type of matte colors so that those I can always incorporate into a look if I want to take it from day to night. But basically the main reason I'm taking this is because it has a lot of like frosty, shimmery type colors here, and then a couple over here that I think I could use, and I just pretty much apply these with my finger and then I pat them on the lid, and if I have one of those bases under, it just comes out so beautiful. And I'm also going to be taking my MAC Nylon eyeshadow, which is this one right here. I have one of these smaller MAC palettes that only fits the 2 shadows, so I figured I would add another matte color right here in that orangey type of tone. I think this one is called Rule, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I know this is nylon. This is my go-to inner corner highlight. I wear it every day. I'm wearing it today. So this is definitely something that I always like to travel with. I have a cream highlighter and I have a powder highlighter. I can use them together. I can use them separate. The cream one is a more beige type highlighter. This is from the brand Natasha Denona. This one is called the Face Glow Cream Shimmer. More like a beigey type of shimmer color. I don't know if you can tell right here. That's what it looks like. It's really nice. It blends in nicely, and I like to always have a nice cream available. For the powder highlighter, I'm taking this one from Benefit. This is the Benefit Tickle, and this is also a really beautiful highlight. This one kind of goes more towards the pink, so it's very different, and I don't know if you can really tell because they're just so light, but this gives you like a more pinky type of highlight. The other one gives you a more beigey type of highlight. I have used them together. I have used them separate. So I think with those two, I am good to go. For brows, I'm taking the Kosas Brow Pop Pencil. This is in the shade Taupe. And I'm also taking the Air Brow Gel. This is in the clear color. So definitely need something for the brows. For mascara, the go-to one that I'm taking is the Benefit Roller Lash. This is my go-to favorite mascara. It's one of the ones that I love the most. So for a trip like this, I like to take the products that I know work for me, that I absolutely love, and not that I'm wishing, right, to have products that I maybe left home and I'm trying to experiment on the trip. I am taking a few liquid liners. I feel like you can kind of take your look to another level with liners, and liners really don't take up that much space. So for liquid liners, I bought these 2 new ones from Urban Decay. These are the 24/7 Inks Energy. I couldn't even see it. It is like a really nice bright blue color. So I feel like it's something that I can add a little bit of color to my eye look, and it also helps if you want to go really simple, that you don't really want to do your eyes too much. Like if I ever get lazy, I don't feel like doing a full face of makeup, I can just add a very neutral color on the crease and just put a blue liner and I'm good to go. And then I also bought the black one just to take the black one. My go-to #1 liquid liner is the Fenty. This is in the shade, I think it's called In Big Truffle, the Fly Liner. This brown is the most beautiful brown ever. And then I'm taking these 2 from Makeup Forever. One is like an olive and one is like a gold color, because again, this can just transform a look, add a different vibe to your look, and I like that. It gives me that variety while I'm away with an item that just really doesn't take all that much space. For pencil liners, I am taking a black one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the one that is called, I think it's called Bedroom Black. I have it kind of like already almost sharpened it all the way through the name, Bedroom Black. This is the Rock and Coal in black. Taking a silver one because I think that that Lorac palette has a lot of really cool silver shades, or like more taupey silver type colors. So I thought that I could do a cool look with some silver. My 2 go-to ones, definitely the Game of Thrones special edition from Urban Decay. This is the Lannister Gold. I have maybe like 2 of these left that I bought on eBay. This is my go-to eyeliner. It's what I'm wearing under on my lower lash line right now, and I wish it was a permanent one, but it was a special edition. I'm taking the color Scorch from Urban Decay, also a 24/7 eyeliner. Scorch, I believe they have available. And then from NYX, this is a slide-on, glide-on. I think it's called Glitzy Gold. Glitzy Gold, really great gold color. I love applying just a nice gold or a silver or some sort of metallic color on the lower lash line. I feel that I just don't really put on that much eyeshadow on the lower lash line because I feel like it gets into my eyes. My eyes are very sensitive, and I just feel that pencil, I do better with pencil than, you know, risking getting the powder inside my eyes. And then for lip liner, I have 4, which now I'm wondering if I really need these 4. I'm gonna swatch these on my hand and see if I really need, because they do seem similar in color. From Huda Beauty, I was gonna take the Lip Contour 2.0. One is in Sandy Beige, and the more pink one is in Muted Pink. Then from Sephora, this is the Rouge Gel Lip Liner, and this is in the shade, I think it's called Bellflower from what I see. This one almost seems similar to that Muted Pink. Oh, actually, it's very different. Maybe that's why I packed all these. It's more, I'll show you now, it's more of like a purpley mauve color. It's not so pink. And then this one is a Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. This one is amazing. This is in Wherever Walnut. Let me put this up here. They're all actually very, very different. Maybe this one and the pink one from Huda are similar. I could probably do without one of them. So I might just go ahead and take out, I don't know, what do you think? It doesn't really, you know, take up that much space, but this one right here, the last one is a Sephora one, then the 2 in the middle are the 2 Huda ones. Another thing that I packed into my makeup bag is the Beauty Blender. This is kind of like the protector case. I have a clean Beauty Blender in there. It's not really from the Beauty Blender brand, the sponge. This is, but that way, if I ever have it that it's wet, I can just pack it in here and bring it back when it's wet. I also like to take a little mini Beauty Blender Solid that I got as a sample. It's a little soap in case I need to clean my Beauty Blender. And then last but not least are my lip products right here. Lipsticks, I'm pretty much taking a lot of my go-to colors. I'm not really planning on experimenting too much on lipstick. The only ones that I am taking are these 2. This one because it's more like a reddish color, but it is a red gloss from Naturium. This is a Phyto lip balm in the shade Lychee. So I feel like if I want to add a little bit of like a red color to my lips, this is the way to go because it's more like a glossy, it's not like a in your face kind of red, which they're so beautiful, but I find that whenever I take a really dark red color, I end up always using my neutrals. So this one I thought I'd take in case I felt like adding a little pop of color, but still it's very glossy and sheer. And then this one are those Maybelline vinyl colors that have been everywhere now. They're Superstay Vinyl Ink. This is in the shade 110 Awestruck. This is a color that I really like. It's pretty much the style of color that I like to use. I have it right here. This is really, really pretty. So I wanted to take it, just something different. And then my go-to ones are pretty much, this is the Lancome. This is the matte in the shade Nude Essential. I love the way it smells. I love the way Lancome lipsticks smell. They have like that scent. This is in the shade 511. Unfortunately, this color has already been discontinued. I can't find it anywhere. I love it, but it's the one that I love to use all the time. I have found similar ones, but not quite the right color. Also from Milani, I'm taking this color in the shade Tease from this lipstick line. I forgot what it's called, but it's more like a, I guess it's a nude color, more towards like a brownish nude color, which I think it's really, really nice. And I like the idea of a brownish nude. Those always come in nice and handy. Then I have my typical pink that I love. This is from Revlon in the shade 668. This is Primrose. This is my perfect pink color. So this one right here, let me swatch it right here. Love that pink color. This is like my go-to pink shade. Always love using it. And then the last one of the lipsticks is this one from the brand Citizen Cosmetics Nudiversal Lip Duo in the shade Ibiza. This is a matte lip. Again, a beautiful nude color. I love it, but they're all just so different. This one right here. For glosses, I'm taking these 2 from Pat McGrath. The reason I'm taking this is because this one is just like a gold one with flecks. This one has a lot of blue tones, and these go really pretty over the bluish tones. I think looks really pretty over the pinks. The golds look really good over the nudes. I mean, I think you can just pretty much use these over the 3 lipsticks that I am taking, which are all just 3 really nice nudes, but it adds a little bit of something to the lip look. So I really like these 2. Then I'm also taking this one right here, which is my Dior Lip Glow Oil in the shade Berry. This is pretty much my go-to. I could also use this on top of that pink or even on top of the Ibiza one. It just adds a little something to the color, or I can also use it on its own. From Fenty, I'm taking this brownish type gloss that I got in one of the sets. I forgot what, but it's a very brown type color, and I think it'll just transform one of those nudes. If it's just like a regular nude, it'll turn it more towards a brownish color, and I'm kind of into that whole brown type of lip look, kind of like 90s, but it's just a little bit sheer. It adds a nice little color. I just really like it. So now for the brushes. This goes in the Allie Glines case. The reason I like this case is because it's very flat, and it does fit a lot. But usually, like when I'm on the trip, I'll just have them loose here and I'll just close it up and zip it up, because I just kind of like to spread them out. Here, they're all kind of, I feel like, I don't know if I love this case 100%. It's convenient because of the size and how it's flat, but it kind of just squishes them all here, and you really can't fit that many. It has the two elastics, one here and then one on top. So you can put brushes towards the back of the thing and also on top. I always end up having to throw some on top because they just all don't fit. But I did pack most of my go-tos in here. The very first one is the Hourglass. This is my dual-ended brush. This is the one I like to use for powder. This I can also use for under the eyes if I needed to, or even use it as a highlight. I always like to take some brushes that are dual-ended because you kind of have two in one. For foundation, this is the one I'm taking from Huda Beauty. This is the Build and Buff for the face. Also like it dual-ended. This end I can use for foundation. This one I can use to set my concealer. Just, you can kind of multitask, but mainly I wanted it for the foundation side. Then I'm taking, for my concealer, this is my go-to concealer brush from Cosmetics. This is number 7, the Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection. This is perfect. I use this for my under eye concealer. Then you have the other end that you can even apply concealer to your lid or just blend in those edges. This one I always like to travel with. Then for powder bronzer, love this one from Sigma, the Soft Angle Contour. This is my go-to bronzer brush for powder. I also took one for like contour from Huda Beauty. Name already got erased, but it's like Sculpt and Shade, I believe. And you can, you know, add your contour with this end, and then you can blend it out with the other end. It's just multifunctional, 2 brushes in one. And then I also took this tiny one from, this I think is from Nude Sticks. See, it got a little bit ruined there just from being in this case. This one again has 2 ends, this end and then a little end. And this one I like to use for my cream blush, just so that I can blend it out. Then I also have another one right here. This one is also a foundation brush. This one I just kind of added on top last minute. Again, it's another foundation brush in case I can use both. Foundation is the one, like the brush that I use the most. Also, I always like having an extra one because sometimes at the end, I kind of like to use a brush that has nothing on it just to blend anything out that's left over, mix it all up. And that's why I like to leave one foundation brush just kind of clean, only use with foundation. And then this one I can go over the foundation or go over the contour or go over the blush. Just anything at the end that you think you have a harsh line or that you want to mix up, it's always good to have another clean brush. Alamar, I have this complexion brush. This one I actually like to apply my powder blush. So I kind of like a nice little poofy, I don't like them too flat to apply powder blush. I do like the whole angled thing, but this one is a really great brush. I really like this one. Then I also have from Sigma, this is a soft blend contour. This is the one that I like to use for when I apply the setting powder under my eyes, because it just doesn't apply too much. It just applies just the right amount. This one right here is probably the most important brush that I take for my eyes. I could probably just get away with just this one if I wanted just to really cut down the brushes I take. This is the Jaclyn Hill from Morphe. I think this is a JH30, the numbers kind of erased. This is just the one that I like to apply on my crease. I use it, I mix it in with the same color, then I just clean it out on a paper towel. It is the best brush for applying shadow on your crease. Obviously, like shadow that you don't mind going all over the crease. It's not a precision type of brush. Another one that I think probably be my second most important one is this one. This is a JH41. This is the one that I like to use to apply my Charlotte Tilbury cream shadow, the Eyes to Mesmerize in Oyster Pearl. This one I basically just use to blend my cream and liquid shadows that I apply on my eyelids. This is the JH39, I believe, and this one is just like a very small rounded pencil. This is the one that is strictly for applying my nylon eyeshadow in my inner corner. This is what I apply as my little finishing touch in the inner corner. It is beautiful. And then these four are just those extras that I ended up packing just in case I want to be a little bit more precise or do some more exciting looks. I have an angled brush that I can use this for liner on the eye or just to add some sort of shadow on the bottom lash if I feel like adding some shadow on the bottom lash. This comes in nice and handy. Then I have another more fluffy brush. This is just kind of to have a nice clean brush in case I need to blend anything out without applying more color to keep this one nice and clean. This one is smaller if I want to apply some color to the outer corner that's a little bit darker, just to add precision, just like this one right here, in case I want to blend something out in the outer corner, something mainly for a darker shade where this one might be too big, but this one I can get a little bit more precise. Also, this one, little one, is good for also applying shadow on the lower lash line if needed. And then this last one was the JH43. This is just like those flat type brushes. This one, I don't even know maybe if I'll take it, because I feel like with this one and this one, I can kind of do the same thing. I thought that maybe this is one that I can just use to apply cream or something under the eyes, but I feel like I can also apply this one just to add some color. I actually don't think I need both. Eliminating the Morphe one, the white one, the flat shader brush type of thing, I can use this one. This one I can multitask, so I'm not gonna take that one. And I think those are pretty much all the brushes. I'm also taking another beauty blender that actually fit nicely inside this bag. So I have an extra one just in case the other one is like too dirty and I haven't had a chance to clean it up. The way I like to pack these is kind of like them going in different directions. You can see some are facing down, some are facing up. Right now I'm still using the layer in the back. So I'm just trying to pretty much, for example, this one, I feel like I can stick in here like that. I try to place them nicely so that they just don't get ruined and I don't show up, you know, when I arrive and my brushes are all disheveled. And then the pencil ones, since they're so thin, I like to just kind of put those in the front pocket right there. So they're just kind of like gonna be lifted. Maybe this one I can do in reverse, just like this. See, like these I put upside down and I can just stick it in the front elastic like this. I think these I might just throw on top without even bothering to put them inside the elastics, just because I'm scared they're gonna get ruined. Then the beauty blender fit nicely in just like a little corner like that. And then what I ended up doing was just putting the palette on top in this one like that. So everything is back in the bag. What I always try to do is to kind of rearrange the more flat items to be at the bottom of the bag, because since this opens up in a weird angle, it's kind of like a diagonal zipper, I always like to make sure that the flat stuff is on the bottom so everything adjusts nicely inside the bag. And then I also closed up the brush case with the palette on top and all the brushes that I share with you guys. So here is where you see all my makeup. This is all going to go in my carry-on. So that is pretty much it. I really hope that you enjoyed my makeup packing. I will make sure to list all the items I mentioned and that I'm taking on my trip in the description box down below. I will also include a link to the Amazon makeup bag as well as to the Allie Glines brush case if you guys are interested in checking them out. As always, I want to say thank you so much for watching Be Lounge Makeup. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you go, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.